And welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to AM News on Global Television. Coming to you live from the nation's capital, Abuja, I am Jumai Manson. A quick reminder that Global Television is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. You can download the Global TV Nigerian mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has commissioned new national headquarters building for the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) in Abuja. The president says the project aims to enhance the commission's operational capacity and reinforce public trust in the country's democratic institutions. Godwin Sunday has details.
Standing beneath the sun at the Zambezi Crescent site, President Bola Tinubu says the project is to strengthen democracy, the independence of the institutions, and the future of electoral integrity. It says INEC, which has long struggled with the limitations of an overstretched and outdated headquarters, is now set to receive a modern annex equipped with state-of-the-art facilities, including a 1,000-seat auditorium, advanced IT infrastructure, and for the first time, a museum chronicling Nigerians' electoral history.
It is a great honor and sense of purpose that I stand before you today to flag up the construction of a new national office, the annex of the headquarters of Independent National Electoral Commission right here in Abuja.
We are going to say all kinds of things, so it's good that you explain that. And I want to assure you that this structure will be given all the time it required to see that during your first tenure, this project is completed.
The project comes after over 10 years of sustained appeals by INEC for more space. The Commission's current headquarters, commissioned in 1997, was originally designed to house just 500 staff and 8 Commission members. Today, the body accommodates over 1,000 personnel, 13 full-time commissioners, and 22 departments. In the days ahead, we look forward to a more robust and lucrative INEC headquarters, even in deliberating and emphasizing electoral decisions across the country. Godwin Sunday, reporting for Global Television News.
President Bola Tinubu has commissioned the newly constructed Mabushi bus terminal, declaring it a major milestone in his administration's effort to modernize public transportation, enhance security, and boost economic opportunities in the Federal Capital Territory. Speaking at the commissioning, the president commended the terminal as a transformative project that will bring order, safety, and efficiency to Abuja's transport system. The Mabushi bus terminal, one of 3 such facilities in Abuja, was designed to replace chaotic roadside pickup points with a structured, secure, and well-monitored transport hub. Overnight, the Benue State government has declared Wednesday, June 18, 2025, a public holiday to mark the official visit of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu to the state. In a statement signed by the Secretary to the State Government, Deborah Aber, the President is expected in the state on a one-day condolence visit to commensurate with the government and people of Benue over the recent spate of violent attacks that have led to numerous deaths. Tinubu had announced that he would cut short his schedule to visit Benue State over the recent attack on the state. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, says the military will carry out precision strikes and clearance operations on identified bandits and criminal hideouts for Benue State. The defense chief advocates for the formation of a civilian joint task force to support security efforts. Correspondent Felicity Indere tells us more.
Meeting with critical stakeholders is at the instance of the Chief of Defence Staff, General Christopher Musa, on a 2-day operational and an on-the-spot assessment of the aftermath of attacks on Yelwata town in Guma local government area. General Musa, while delivering his welcome address at the meeting, urged community leaders to adopt new strategies to tackle the current security challenges facing the state.
Forces that people are being killed where we are there. No. We have gone to Liberia, we have gone to Sierra Leone, we have gone to other countries and have brought peace. Why not in our own country? So I want to assure you that we're together. No member of the armed forces is going to be anywhere against one. If you notice anybody there, we are ready to prosecute that person. But we are going to count on your support so that we can be able to achieve and work together. We must achieve together.
In another development, the governor of Nasarawa State, Engineer Abdullahi Sule, led a high-powered delegation on a condolence visit to Governor Hyacinth Alia and the people of Benue State.
Whatever sacrifices have to be made to ensure that we protect the lives of our own people. And that is what we will continue to do. Nasarawa State is there for you. Whatever it is that you need on the part of Nasarawa State government will do to continue to support you.
Yelwata, almost at the border with Nasarawa, is one that leaves a very bad taste in our mouths. And indeed, undermines the good neighborliness that we have shared over the years. I'm very happy you made mention of this. And it is important that we work together and defeat these agents of darkness who are determined to abolish the peaceful coexistence that we have enjoyed, particularly since you became governor of Nasarawa State.
With support from security and political leaders from Logical Vigilante training and stronger interstate collaboration, many in Benue are beginning to hope that the long-standing violence may soon come to an end.
President Bola Tinubu has commissioned the Greater Abuja Water Supply Network to enhance potable water distribution across the Federal Capital Territory. President Tinubu described the water initiative as a transformative project that enhances national development agenda. Over now to Godwin Sunday for more details.
The Greater Abuja Water Supply Project is a major infrastructure development aimed at significantly improving access to safe and clean drinking water for residents of Abuja. At the commissioning of the water project in Abuja, President Bola Tinubu lauded the partnership between the administration of the Federal Capital Territory and the Chinese government. He explained that the water project involves the construction of 4 pipeline loops that will increase the city's water supply capacity by 480,000 cubic meters per day, raising the total capacity from 240,000 to 720,000 cubic meters daily.
This water infrastructure is not only a technical milestone, but a moral one, because it is about equity. It is about ensuring that no part of Abuja is left behind in our national development agenda. When we speak of Renew Hope agenda, this is what we mean. Tangible, people-focused projects that improve the daily lives of ordinary Nigerians. Water to drink, to clean, to grow, to build. That is the real project.
In his remark, the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, says the project will support sustainable development by enabling existing water plants to operate at maximum capacity, reducing resource waste and fostering local employment and skill development. He added that the expansion of the water project is designed to serve approximately 2.5 million residents across 50 districts in the Federal Capital Territory, including 50 estates and mass housing scheme in the phase 3 and 5 of the city.
I want to say today that we almost completed the procurement process to give water to Buhari, give water to Kubwa, give water to Karu and some other communities. So we are not only providing water to the city, we are also providing water to the satellite town.
This initiative is among several projects of the Federal Capital Territory Administration (FCTA) led by Minister Nyesom Wike. Godwin Sunday reporting for Global Television News.
The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, has called for urgent action to end plastic pollution. The minister who announced this during the 2025 World Environment Day commemoration held in Abuja said the warning became necessary as unmanaged waste contaminate rivers, oceans, ecosystem, and also contribute to flooding. Over now to Sharon Ajay for details.
The Minister of Environment, Balarabe Lawal, says the federal government has developed and implemented a national policy on plastic waste management aimed at reducing plastic consumption, promoting recycling, and encouraging environmental innovation. He highlighted the need for innovation, noting that the potential is to create green jobs while addressing pollution. He commended youth groups and environmental clubs for their activism and encouraged more grassroots awareness campaigns to drive behavioral change.
Ladies and gentlemen, as we celebrate World Environment Day today, I would like to assure you that the federal government of Nigeria, under the leadership of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is committed to a cleaner, greener, and more resilient environment, in line with the Renewed Hope agenda. We are taking decisive steps to address public pollution at all levels. The Federal Ministry of Environment has developed and is implementing national policy on plastic waste management. Our memo was approved by the Council, and we have been trying to come up with a framework for trying to implement that. We provide strategic framework for reducing plastic use, promoting recycling, and encouraging innovation in alternative use of plastics.
The President, Economic Community of West African Commission, Omar Toure, who was represented by Director for Environment and Natural Resources, Bernard Kofi, delivered a regional perspective on the crisis. Kofi reviewed that West Africa generates nearly 8 million tons of plastic waste annually, with 80% of it mismanaged. He warned that this poses serious risks to public health, the environment, and economic development. He described plastic pollution as a shared regional challenge, particularly affecting coastal nations. Kofi highlighted the 2023 ECOWAS regional regulation on plastics and urged member states to harmonize legislature, embrace circular economy models, and act decisively.
Plastic pollution is not only a global menace concern, but a regional and national crisis. According to the World Bank, the region generates nearly 8 million metric tons of plastic waste every year, a figure that is set to rise by 52% in 5 years' time. In addition, more than 80% of plastic waste is poorly managed in West Africa, adversely affecting human, animal health, ecosystem, and blue economy sector, such as fishing and tourism. The plastic waste we generate are carried in the rivers and from rivers to sea.
The government on our part is to enforce policies like ban of single-use plastic, and also to hold producers accountable to the very last mile of the lifespan of the plastic being produced. And apart from that, encourage circular economy, whereby our people are encouraged to recycle, reuse, and also uptake most of these plastic plastic products by encouraging youth industries or small cottage industries to see how they can recycle. They need government empowerment, backing, and also private sector encouragement to funding to also make this happen. Government must stand firm on policies and make sure it's being implemented.
Other speakers echoed the call for unity, innovation, and sustained commitment to environmental protection, reminding attendees that Earth remains our only home. Sharon Ajay reporting for Global TV News.
The Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAM, has announced stringent sanctions against individuals and computer-based test (CBT) centers found guilty of infractions during its registration and examination processes. JAM Registrar Professor Ishaq Oloyede disclosed this during a stakeholders meeting on examination infractions held in Abuja. Priscilla Obasi completes the story.
The JAM Registrar, Professor Ishaq Oloyede, says any registrant found to have enrolled more than 50 candidates using suspicious method will be barred from participating in any JAM-related activity, including the Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME) for a period of 3 years. He added that the suspension also extends to preventing registrants from taking part in the examinations of other sister bodies such as WAEC, NECO, and NAPTEC within the same period. He noted that after 3 years, the board will review each case and determine whether to lift the sanction based on the registrant's conduct.
Also identify that lack of training is the problem, is part of the problem. Federal University closest to each of the center, we will need them to re-engage the center. That is, we will not allow any of these centers to do anything with us until they bring a certificate, a letter from a federal institution closest to that center that their staff had been trained on ethical standards. That is, for instance, you are in Bayelsa, there is Federal University of Otuoke. There must be a letter from the university about training your staff for unethical standard and ethical practice. In that case, we will then allow you to continue. If you do that in 1 week, in 1 month, in 1-2, that's when you will continue with us.
He noted that for registrants who have enrolled fewer than 50 candidates must submit a formal letter of apology and sign a bond of good conduct to avoid future misconduct. He added that all CBT centers involved in infraction, particularly those operated by federal and public institutions, are mandated to sign a bond and provide evidence of staff training in ethical standards. Also speaking at the meeting, former Lagos State Commissioner of Police Fatai Owoseni, retired, stressed the need to tackle malpractice firmly and end discriminatory practices in Nigeria's legal system. He advocated for strict enforcement of laws against offences such as impersonation and examination fraud.
Apart from the examination malpractices, what we've done under the criminal code is forgery, impersonation. You are supposed to go to prison. Actually, when the registrar started, I said, why do we even have to call you? Because the registrar is aware.
Bashir Gumel, Deputy Provost of Chikora's CBT Center, Bubura, Jigawa State, one of the affected centers, revealed that a local committee had been set up to address infractions, and the committee reportedly summoned those individuals, secured confessions, and committed to restoring integrity at the center. He, however, cautioned about the risk of closing the center, noting its critical role as a first employment opportunity for young people in the area.
There we have summoned all of them to come for fair hearing, and we have heard all what they have done, and they've confessed that to return the integrity of our institution, this won't go like that. They have to be punished, and we promise that the mode of action that will be taken will be shared with the JAM office. And in that regard, again, our center is not a established center in the catchment area where there are very few CBT centers. Thus, we therefore more centers. If our center is closed, then where are children going for the JAM for this thing?
A total of 11 CBT centers were identified for infractions by JAM.
House of Representatives Committee on Nutrition and Food Security has commenced a probe into the 1.12 trillion naira spent on the federal government's Anchors Borrowers Program, ABP. Speaking during the public hearing, Chairman of the committee, Chike Okafor, raised concerns that of the 24 participating financial institutions who disbursed the amount for the Anchor Borrowers Program, 15 have allegedly failed to provide enough evidence of disbursements to the committee. It is also probing Nigeria incentive-based risk-sharing system for agricultural lending microfinance bank for 215 billion naira spent on agro-businesses, as well as the Bank of Industry. Over 3 billion naira disbursed to 22,120 smallholder farmers through the Agriculture Value Chain Financing Program. Let's turn to another story now. Edo State Governor Senator Monday Okpebholo has named retired General Cecil Asegai as chairman of Livestock Control Committee to end clashes between herders and farmers in the state. Speaking at the inauguration of the 27-man committee, Governor Okpebholo tasked the committee to work in line with terms of reference. Governor Okpebholo urged the committee to handle the task carefully while the assignment was being carried out. The Corporate Affairs Commission, CAC, has announced a fresh new review of its service fees, which will take effect from August 1st, 2025. In a public notice, the Commission explained that the fee adjustment is part of efforts aligned with the needs of businesses and the Nigerian economy. CAC has stated the decision was taken after a thorough assessment of current economic conditions, rise in operation expenses, and consultations with key stakeholders. Moving on now, as the price of fish continues to rise across Kano State, traders say the price hike is attributed to the current high cost of living among Nigerians. Global TV correspondent Idris Jabir reports that the price increase has led to the reduction in demand for fish across northern Nigeria. The Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has revealed its intent to tighten and overall guidelines for the licensing and operation of petroleum facilities across the country. The authority chief executive officer Farouk Ahmed disclosed this during a workshop with stakeholders in Abuja, while also issued a stern charge to all departmental heads, emphasizing the permanent importance of upholding due process and assuring strict adherence to regulatory standards at all field offices. Ahmed added that the initiative underscored the authority's commitment to enhancing regulatory standards and ensuring operational excellence with the vital sector. The Debt Management Office, DMO, has announced plans to raise up to 50 billion naira through the issuance of a Series 3 federal government green bond aimed at financing climate-friendly projects with climate change, adaptation and mitigation initiatives to receive the largest allocation of 15.96 billion naira. Patience Oniha, Director General of the Management, made this known during an official launch of the Green Bond held in Lagos. A breakdown of the spending plans for the FGN Series 3 Green Bond shows that 15 billion naira will be allocated to green energy transition initiatives, including the development of local infrastructure, conversion to CNG and electric vehicles. On the news now in sports, Nigerian attackers Victor Osimhen has given reasons why he cannot play for Turkey's Giants, Fenerbahce, of any other club in Istanbul. This is following growing speculations linking the Nepalese striker with a move to Fenerbahce. The former Lagos star said he would wear out if he joins Jose Mourinho's Yellow Canaries. And of course, following the Nigerian Premier Football League NPFL directive on facilities upgrade, the Lafayette City Stadium will undergo a major upgrade ahead of the 2025-26 season. The stadium is the home ground of Nigerian Premier Football League NPFL side Nasarawa United. And as we end the AM news, let's take a quick look at our top stories again. We brought to you that President Bola Tinubu has commissioned new national headquarters building for the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC in Abuja, and the Nigerian Midstream and Downstream Petroleum Regulatory Authority has revealed its intent to tighten and overhaul guidelines for licensing and operation of petroleum facilities across the country. That's in business. And on the foreign scene now, Sudan's Prime Minister Kamal Idris has directed the reopening of universities in Khartoum. And finance sports chairman of Nigerian Premier Football League NPFL Gbenga says the league body is in search of sponsors for the procurement of video assistance referee VAR machines for Nigerian top flights. And that's it on Global TV AM News. A quick reminder that Global TV is on DSTV channel 365 and Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms I'm showing on your screen by using @Global TV NG. You can download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app for Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. Good morning. Up next is Global Morning. Stay tuned.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
All right, good morning and welcome to Global Morning this morning. I hope you had a pleasant night's rest. It is a beautiful day, and of course on Global Morning we have lots of discussions, interesting conversations lined up for you for today, from the newspaper review to the conversation with different guests. You will have a blast this morning. Please stay with us. Of course, I am not alone in the studio. I am always joined by my co-host here, Godwin Sunday, a senior friend, a great colleague, food lover. What else do I use to qualify you this morning, Godwin?
Well, I won't raise an eyebrow. You know, as long as you've given me the right accolades this morning, and you've added food, we are fine.
I know that's your favorite,
well,
right?
When you add food to it, it's very good.
Okay, so
but good morning and welcome to a Global Morning here on Global Television. Well, it's a good time at this point to join us on our social media handle. You can do that by going straight to Global TV NG, and you can also download the Global TV Nigeria mobile app from your Android and iOS devices to keep track of our broadcast. Like Priscilla have said, there are quite a lot of conversations that we'll be delving into this morning. But we'll go for this break, and when we come back, we'll be going straight to the newspaper review, where we have a lot of papers that are lined up for us this morning. Good morning once again.
all right, welcome back. If you were just tuning in, this is Global Morning, and right about now we're delving into the newspaper review segment. We will start with the first paper of the day, being the Guardian newspaper, and then of course Nigeria is always full of news, right? So the first news here on the Guardian newspaper says INEC rejects PDP's NEC meeting notice without secretary signature. Interesting. You'll find that on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. The next story here says weak justice system frustrated 1.5 trillion naira bad loans recovery, judges told. That you will find on page 15 of the Guardian newspaper this morning. The next story here says JAPA doctors must be incentivized to stay in Nigeria, says Obasanjo. I wonder who's going to do this. Do we have our dear president yielding to this? Can we incentivize our doctors to stay in Nigeria? Well, let's see how that goes. The next story here says property owners shun CFO title registries over bureaucracy graft. Excuse me. You have that on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper.
All right, let's even look at the Guardian newspaper, where we have here a star story that says property owners shown CFO 30 registries over bureaucracy graft. You can find all of that read on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Senate CDS expressed frustration over Benue killings amid push for community policing. You can find all of that read on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. FG ties credit scores to NIN in major reforms plan. All of that read on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Yawata Benue Assembly wants self-defense anti-open grazing law. Well, you can find all of that read on page 30 of the papers. We will go after repentant bandits, that Renage says. This is coming from the Katsina State Governor, and you can find that read on page 20 of the Guardian newspaper. Below at the foot of the Guardian newspaper, here we have EU commits 110 million euro to peace security project in ECOWAS. All that read you can find even on the Guardian newspaper. Do well to go out there and get yourself a copy of the Guardian newspaper. Let's even get to the Punch newspaper, where it's punchy this morning. Well, just beside the nameplate here we have a PDP crisis. Chair governors, INEC holds emergency talks. You can find all of that read on the Punch this morning to get punchy. On page 2 of the Punch newspaper, we have a story here that says, beside that story we have in politics, Rivers Park Estate, Ghanaian businessman sues IGP, EFCC aired IG monitoring Akim Fakoradi over alleged suppression of land probe report, rights violation. Well, you can find all of that read on the Punch newspaper this morning. Well, PBAT door-to-door campaign, but you see that it's coming from the Punch newspaper. There you have a picture of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and the coordinator for the PBAT, the Tompolo's picture here, even by the side, supporting and giving President Bola Ahmed Tinubu an endorsement. Or you can find all of that read there on the front page of the Punch newspaper. Do well to go out there and get yourself a copy of the Punch newspaper, of course, to get punchy and stay abreast with current happenings around the country. Up next is This Day newspaper.
Okay, on This Day newspaper, we have the first story here that says CBN affirms strength of Nigerian banking sector, issues routine guidance for banks under forbearance. And there's a writer there that says banks share dipped for the You'll find that on page 5 of This Day newspaper. There's also another story here that says National Assembly transmits landmark tax reform bills to President. That you'll find on page 43 of This Day newspaper. And another story here says Tinubu, INEC backbone of our democratic journey, role key to public trust in government. There are two writers there, and one says his commitment to strengthen electoral system unshaken, and another says commission rejects Damagun's notification of June 30 PDP NEC meeting, says not compliant. Interesting. Another story here says Senate leader joins presidential trip to Benue, says it is tired of killings. A writer there says SGF assures people of Yellowwater of FG support. SGF assures people of Yellowwater of FG support. Obi thanks president for visiting the state. Well, this is a move from the presidency to comfort the lives of those that lost their lives in Benue State Yellow Water precisely. We pray that their soul continue to rest in perfect peace. The next story here says, President Tinubu flags off the INEC headquarters building. I don't know why we need another headquarters, INEC headquarters building. The old one not functioning enough. Well, that is, the presidency's decision. What can we do? We hope it goes well. The building has been flagged off, and we should never.
Reacting to the INEC issue, let's even put it in perspective. When INEC headquarters was built in 1997, where we transcended to democratical era in 1990, before we transited to the democratic era, the capacity for that building was just for 500 persons.
Okay.
It was supposed to exceed that number, but right now INEC has expanded even to the capacity of 1,000 people, and that building can no longer accommodate them.
Okay.
So previous administration has promised them that they will look into all of that. Now they have more commissioners, they have a lot of office holders in INEC, and they need to report back to the office, so they need to expand that capacity.
We hope that this building will make elections go better, because we can't be having people expanding and then the system itself is not
definitely
expanding.
Once they're expanding, they will get to see a better electoral system, because we were there yesterday to even observe the whole process. It was a beautiful proposition, and the whole thing coming from the president, like you said, we hope that it will in turn translate into better productivity for our elections. But then, if I believe so much that if people are given the right tools to work with, we can't fault them in the system. If you get to INEC Conference Center, where we've often been to, you get to that center, it's quite small. That place cannot take more than 50 persons. I'm not sure right now, but I know when we got there, we literally had to go and bring some seats outside for us to be able to accommodate us. Even we were almost sitting on themselves inside that conference center. I recall we went to cover Professor Mahmoud Yakub, one of those conferences, and it was a very interesting conference hall. It was choked, but then I believe the new one that we built to give more electoral umpire pressmen opportunity.
And we give us a free and fair election.
When you have reporters, if the place can accommodate more reporters,
okay,
more journalists can cover as this who's not struggling to even find space.
Okay.
All of that. So I think it's a good, for me. I don't know. I think it's a right step.
Of course, it's a good move. Yeah. But I feel like what we have already, I'm not saying we shouldn't progress. I'm not saying we shouldn't.
You're not a tech person, and you believe that we shouldn't even work from home. We should transfer the results online.
Of course.
They should not be put
what do we need to go to the office?
People should never come to the office. They should
they should stay back, and they should do whatever they have to do. It makes it transparent. When you have to go from one place to another, from one room to another, you begin to get corrupted, especially with the kind of country we come from. So let us slash out. Let us remove the offices. Let everyone see it from the internet.
Yes, talk to the INEC chairman. The officers this is coming out exactly from procedure.
I see you're the spokesperson of the INEC chairman right now. So let's go to the next paper.
Alright, so let's even look at the next paper which we have here on our hand here. We have the Daily Trust newspaper, and we also have here below the nameplate and the star story. Fresh trouble for PDP as INEC rejects NEC meeting. Well, that's just the story there. Then we have this whole commissioning of projects by about 1,339 projects. This is coming from Governor Zulum of Borno State. Well, you can go out there and get yourself a copy of the Daily Trust newspaper to find out what are the developmental strides, what Governor Zulum is even doing in Borno State. The people will say that what did this government self they do? Of course, if you want to find out what the Borno State governor is doing, Zulum has always been one of our projects, even in the north. I make boast to say most times that if Zulum is not delivering on the dividends of democracy, he should be arrested, because he has once tasted poverty. He has been on the street. He understands. He once said he has been to Lagos. He understands the way the systems work. He's trying to replicate the same thing, and he's a professor. Little wonders why education is right now
priority for him in Borno State, ensuring that people of the state return back to school. And of course, we can't take that away from him, that majority of Borno indigents have returned back to school, and yes, he's ensuring, even in the heat of the Boko Haram insurgency, it was still building schools for his people. Of course, for me, I think it's a Mr. Project for the North. Let's move on to the next paper here, which is the Nation newspaper. Priscilla, over to you.
Okay, so the Nation newspaper, we have the first story here that says Dangote Refinery's fuel distribution scheme to cut inflation. I hope that's let's see what happens with that. And then you have on page 7 of the Nation newspaper, the next story here says, why government is building new new INEC office. I was going to twist that. But then it says, why government is building new INEC office is democracy backbone. Well, I feel like the INEC chairman has something to say on this. I don't know. You can find details about that on page 2 of the Nation's newspaper. The next story here, Omokri. I remain with Tinubu despite Atiku's camp's attack. Omokri, that's coming from Reno. Omokri, everyone. Well, I will just laugh about that. Another story here says PDP's June 30 NEC meeting threatened. You have that on page 3. Do you want to talk about Omokri and his?
Well, Omokri is one politician right now that we would want to. People don't trust his political judgment. Majority of people, not everybody. Because we've seen him try. People say, for one corner, people say that it's a stomach infrastructure for him.
Yes,
he's trying to lobby the president to get political appointments.
I think so too.
Well,
I think so too.
So I also spoke your mind also. So on the other hand, people say that Reno is speaking from the path of developmental politics. That's why he has always stood by the president in order to talk about developmental strides across the country. Well, how correct this is, I leave that for Nigerians to judge that Remo is or anti-Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You will be the judge on that conversation.
I will judge that very quick because I'm very sure that he's going to change his mind very soon. Well, let's go to the next story here that says APC grants waivers to defectors ahead of FCT council poll. Federal government to link credit scores to NIN. You find that on page 4. And then the next story here says earlier hopeful better killings will end with Tinubu's visit. We are hopeful too that the killings will end because that is our prayer. The writer here says state government declares public holiday. Troops are with you. CES assures. You find that on page you find it on the Nation's newspaper. And then we have a big advert here. You will also find details about that's infrastructure, transport and energy. You find details about that on when you get a copy of the Nation's newspaper this morning. Let's go to the next paper, the Daily Times. We'll have Godwin to take us through that.
All right, on the Daily Times newspaper this morning, above the nameplate in the business side of the Daily Times, I beg your pardon, Nigeria losing oil firms to insecurity, and this is coming from Pegasin. That's from Osifo, who is a Pegasin chairman and by extension the TUC president. PDP 100 NEC threatened as INEC recognizes Ayahu. You can find all that read on page 11. The Star story here says insecurity, 544 killed in Benue in 2025. And this is a very sad one. As comes to the rider, as CSOs raises alarm over government's inactions. Well, all of that really you can find on page 9 of the Daily Times newspaper this morning. Reps probe 212 trillion naira, 215 billion ABP NESAL funds. Well, all of that really you can find on page 2. CDS proposes Borno-style military security for Benue locals. You can find this on page 8 of the Daily Times newspaper this morning. NHRC worries over killings in Benue Letu says food insecurity looms. All of that read on page 5. Adamawa APC denies Ribado's endorsement, insists it only passed confidence vote. All of that read can be found on page 7 of the Daily Times newspaper. At the foot of the paper here we have Benue killings, barbaric, unacceptable. This is coming from Kalu. Well, all of that read you can find on the Daily Times new this morning. Do well to go out there and get yourself a copy of the Daily Times this morning to also stay abreast with current happenings in the country. Well, we understand right now we have to go even for this break so that we can be joined by Sharon Ajay, who will be taking us straight to the food corner where we'll begin to talk about food this morning.
Your favorite part,
well, you can say that that's my favorite part of the show, but whatever that means, Priscilla, I'm unapologetically accepting the fact that
I love food.
Well, you can say that for well, we're going to the food corner right now where we will join Sharon Ajay, who will be taking us. What is Sharon? Sharon, what is cooking this morning? What are we learning? What are we making? Well, so let's even go meet Sharon before I begin to brag about my cooking right and my cooking skill. And yes, my cooking skill. Of course, Priscilla will not agree to that. But then Sharon Ajay,
what do your cooking skill?
You can't cook. You can't school finish from. You can't be a Malabite and you don't know how to cook. As a Malabite, you know you're done with these things called food.
I hear you.
Well, bona fide Malabites. Sharon Ajay, let's meet you there and know what's going on. Over to you, Sharon.
Hello and welcome to Taste and Texture. I am Sharon Ajay. Today we will be learning how to make puff puff. Have you ever seen anyone eat just one piece of puff puff? Well, I have never, and that can tell you how addictive puff puff can be. Puff puff is a very popular West African street food that's quick and easy to make with different variations. Dangerously delicious and addicting. It's so warm and crispy on the outside, but soft and very fluffy on the inside. The flavor is very nice and the recipe is pretty easy to make, trust me. But once again, I've learned that puff puff is one of Nigerians' favorite food. When you talk about small chops, or you can't have small chops without puff puff being part of it. And I would say the taste is a bit similar to donuts, but it's way more crispy on the outside, just like I said, and so fluffy on the inside. Well, let's move to the ingredients that would need to make this delicacy. We'll be needing plain flour, also known as all-purpose flour. We'd also need salt, just a little bit to help enhance the flavors. We'd also need granulated sugar and instant yeast, also ground cinnamon and ground nutmeg, and also oil, any flavorless oil that works, but I like to use, or would suggest you use, vegetable oil. And the most important ingredient, water. That water should be a bit, slightly warm, not too hot, but just lukewarm. Now, let's make it. In a large bowl, sieve flour and thoroughly mix together flour, sugar, baking powder, yeast, salt, and then add 2 cups of lukewarm water. You could add little by little to get the right consistency. Use a wooden spoon or your hands to gradually stir flour into the water until a thick, sticky batter has formed and no lumps remain. That should take about 5 minutes. Batter should have the same consistency as cake batter with a few bubbles. Next, you add any flavor of your choice and stir. We would be making use of 1/4 tablespoons of milk flour. Cover bowl loosely with plastic wrap or any tight cover or a clean, damp kitchen towel
and let sit at warm room temperature until roughly doubled in size. That should take about 20 to 45 minutes. Next, you dice some pepper and onions. It's completely optional. Next, you turn on your heat and heat oil over medium-high heat. Using 1 tablespoon cookie scoop or your hands, dip scoop in hot oil, then scoop a 1 tablespoon portion of butter and carefully add to oil, dropping the portion from as close to the oil surface as possible to minimize splashing. Working quickly, repeat process until pan is full and not overcrowded. Fry puff-puff using a slotted spoon to turn them as they cook until puffed and golden brown on all sides, and that should be about 6 minutes. For those who would love to add pepper and onions, the spices should be added in the batter and then stirred together and proceed to frying. After frying, transfer puff-puff to prepared baking sheet or a sieve to drain out the oil. Lastly, transfer puff-puff to a serving bowl and serve hot, warm, or at room temperature. Well, puff-puff can be eaten on its own, or you can toast it in spiced sugar or with a dip. Enjoy your puff-puff.
And that's it on Taste and Texture. I am Sharon Ajay. Global Morning continues.
Wow. Sharon, thank you for that particular presentation. Well, watching puff-puff being made.
You seem not to be salivating this morning. Are you not a fan of puff-puff?
Well,
on a normal day,
nobody said I'm not celebrating. Already I am. But then I'm trying to catch my breath, even trying to assume that I'm already eating the puff-puff this morning. But then I know that because of the ethics of the job, I might not be able to do that right here. But of course, I'll meet Sharon behind the scene. Let's even delve into that puff-puff conversation.
That very puff-puff had pepper. I am not someone that likes puff-puff with pepper. I don't know when this thing started. When did they start using pepper to do puff-puff? Because most times I'm hungry, I want to eat puff-puff. I sit by the roadside and I want to buy, and I open it up and I see the pepper. It looks like it's a general thing right now. Are you a fan of puff-puff?
Well, let's call that a Gen Z's puff-puff, if you like to use that word.
Gen Z's puff-puff.
That's not the Gen Z's puff-puff. I recall that growing up when we used to get puff-puff by the roadside, because the eatery then was not popular.
Yeah.
You rather have canteens and all of that. But then we've seen that conversation evolve.
Eatery was not popular in your time.
It wasn't.
Are you that old?
Well, whatever that means. It wasn't popular. It was not popular until the lines. I don't want to start mentioning brands.
Okay.
But way back as far as 1993, 1994, 5, 6, during, eatery wasn't popular at that period. You eat at home or you go to
restaurant.
You have restaurants. You don't
like Mama Put.
Like Mama Put by the roadside, or you have a restaurant, a canteen. That's where I was looking for.
Oh, okay.
You have canteens then, and the restaurant, but then it was basically called canteen. So you look for a canteen around. That's where you have hygienic food, and you have this Ministry of Health, the department in Ministry of Health that ensures that the environment is safe for people to eat. It was a good time. It was a good old days where we have all of these things working. Right now, I can't say people cook from their homes. I know that people even put soup, sell soup in liters.
Yes, the fascinating thing for me right now is how people get to create different kind of food. You see people doing using the whole blender to do a lot right now. You go to social media, you see Gen Z's using there's one I saw, they used coconut chaff to make swallow. Okay.
And it is that the creativity in
Let me eat what I do.
in the food that's called the food industry right now. There is a food industry. You have chefs on social media teaching you how to cook every kind of food.
Use back of the coconuts to make
like swallow. Yes.
Okay.
Swallow. Use the back of the peel of plantain to make swallow. Have you seen that?
Well,
that is the real Gen Z food.
So I'm hearing it for the first time. It's quite interesting.
Yes.
So how do you mold it? How do you?
There's this.
They smoothen it.
You smoothen it, and then there's this ingredient they use that brings it together. You know, just add it to it. When you put it in your boiling water, you add. I've forgotten the name of this ingredient. Maybe in the next episode, the next time on Global Money, I'll be able to recall. But there's this thing they put to bind the swallow together. That's the chaff. Whether it's coconut peel, whether it's plantain peel, a whole lot of new food. You go to the internet. I'm telling you, I don't know if you follow these chefs online. When you go online, you see them cooking every kind of thing. And some people are even used to do, make caricature. You see one trying to some will say, let me cook for my boyfriend, and they wash the noodles with soap and water. People are just trying a whole lot on social media now in the name of content creation, food making, and everything.
Well,
it is a place to
I'm a conservationist. I like the old ways. Give me the old food.
No, you need to try this.
I like the old food. I think it was good for Paul and Silas. So give me the
someone told me that the difference between a chef and a cook is that a chef creates and a cook is stereotyped, kind of.
Well, whatever what you want to use, the most important thing for me is that give me the food.
Let the food be sweet.
Let the food just the food is not this will add salt to it. I put it to just go and warm it again and add a little of salt to it. That's to go.
That's creativity still.
Because you can't. The food cannot waste.
Now let me tell you this very interesting one. There's this one that they say you don't use crayfish to cook jollof rice again. I don't know how well you cook though. You said you cook well, but have you heard of the fact that it's a taboo? Don't use crayfish. When I heard that, I was like, but this is what my mother told me. How do you tell me not to use crayfish? And you go online, you see that crayfish is not crayfish is a major ingredient. It kind of, it steals the taste of all the other ingredients in the food. So when you cook some kind of food,
you do jollof rice. Yeah, I don't do that. I eat jollof rice, of course, if it's prepared. But then I think I like the palm oil rice. I'm a local man. I like the palm oil rice when you put your dry fish on it.
And you put your dadawa.
Whatever you want to put, but let the fish, let the palm oil rice speak for me.
The palm oil rice comes with the local ingredient.
This is for people that
locust beans.
People that grow up in the south, a lot of us don't put that on the rice.
Oh, really?
Bring it fresh, bring it raw. Just put the minor. Let's begin to whack this thing. We don't waste time with this palm oil rice. Of course, I'm a fan of palm oil rice. For me, that's my jollof rice.
Yeah, that's the only thing you know how to cook.
Well, I don't know what I didn't see that coming, by the way.
It's the easiest. That would to be your favorite.
Well, it is convenient. You just eat and go. You now add your oil. The aroma will not disturb the entire neighborhood.
Do you wash the rice?
Why would I wash the rice? Of course, I parboil the rice.
You parboil it?
Yes, I parboil the rice, and now we'll now delve into eating. But it's quite interesting. It's an interesting for me. All this your mede doing popov. You said with pepper. Well, I don't know which ingredient they use in making popov. By the way, I don't. But I shall. I just know how to eat the popov itself, which is a primary concern.
Okay, so if you're wondering what to have for breakfast this morning, Sharon Ajay has given you a tip. You can have puff puff, and it's very easy to make. I used to think it was difficult until I tried it at some point, and it's
There's even a mixed puff right now in most supermarkets around.
That's
when you have a
true.
mixed puff, all you need to do is just to add your water and stir fry.
Yes, but some caterers will say no, I can't do that. That's how do I know the composition of the ingredients? No, Nigerians would like to suffer.
That's why I'm not a caterer, so I go out there and buy it, and also you can start your day by eating puff this morning, and. Wow, I'm already picturing what the puff in my head already, but then
puff and chilled,
and
chilled
tea.
drink.
When we go for this break and when we come back, we'll be joined by Ogochukwu Mobono,
who is already standing by to even tell us what is trending across the country. Ogochukwu Bobono, over to you.
Good morning, the Global Morning crew, and good morning, viewers. I am Ogochukwu Bobono as usual, and I'll be bringing you buzzing stories on the internet. So today, what's buzzing on the internet? A lot of persons on the internet, on social media, have expressed concern over the president's speech. Some said, why will the Pope, who is miles away, address the country before the president came on? Well, on Monday, during the commissioning of the newly arterial road, stated that he will be clearing his schedule to visit Benue State on Wednesday, June 18, 2025, as part of renewed effort to foster peace and address the persistent conflict affecting communities in the state. A statement that Bayo Onanuga, special advisor to the president on information and strategy, indicates that the president's visit aims to assess firsthand the incurring crises that have claimed numerous lives and caused significant destruction. He also adds that during his stay, President Tinubu will meet with all the stakeholders, including traditional rulers, political, religious, community leaders and youth groups, to seek lasting solutions to the hostilities. Well, already President Tinubu has dispatched the secretary to the government of the Federation, the Inspector General of Police, heads of intelligence units, and the National Security Advisor and the chairman of the Senate and House Defense Committee to Benue State. The president is expected to hold a town hall meeting with all stakeholders during the visit. Well, let's take a look at this video making waves on the internet.
Why I sympathize with the Benue people, I've spoken to the governor. The leadership and people of Benue should accept our condolences and tried hard, very, very consciously, to maintain peace, harmony among themselves. I've always said this, that we are one single huge family.
Well, you've seen the video during this commissioning of the arterial road. You know, the president says he's going to clear his initial schedule of going to Kaduna for Benue being an emergency situation. And, you know, some persons are here saying the president is doing well, but some other people feel like, why are you saying you're clearing schedule? This is an emergency. This is something you should have addressed like long time ago. Some persons are not very comfortable with this statement. Well, we're going to be taking comments from social media, and our first comment is coming from Chimarama, and Chimarama says, so he's doing them a favor. Wrong choice of words. You see, some persons are not really happy about the choice of words when he said he was going to clear his schedule. Well, the next comment is coming from Jenard Couture, and Jenard said, decided like he's doing the people of Benue State a favor. Chineke ain't gonna ever pray for this man to win 2027 election. Well, Chineke might not want to quit, but then your vote counts and your vote is going to speak for you. The last comment, but not the least for today, is coming from Kola Omuadeniyi, and Kola says, a lot of the people, including some celebrities, calling out the president over the Benue incident seem to lack a basic understanding of how governance actually works. It's easy to shout from the sidelines, but leadership and crisis management requires context, coordination and process. Judging by many of the comments here, it is clear we are becoming too quick to blame, too slow to seek facts, and far too comfortable with hate. When did we become so angry and so uninformed at the same time? Let's do better. Let's choose reason over rage, facts over feelings, and solution over slander. Well, I think this person really said a lot, and I think this person spoke to the heart of the president. Crisis is not something, crisis management is not something you run into, but you need to be, strategize, think, and, critically think about it, so you know how to go about it, about the whole situation.
this situation right now we're facing is not just Benue State. If one life is lost in Benue State, it affects everybody in the country, including the president. And I know he has taken good measures to make sure that they curb all of these insecurities in Benue State and make sure that they put an end and bring to justice those behind this situation. Well, so that's it today on Social Buzz. You can kindly drop your thought on YouTube using the handle showing on your screen and be part of these conversations. Right here, I'll be leaving you in the hands of the Global Morning crew as Global Morning continues.
All right, welcome back to Global Morning. That was coming from Ogochukwu, and she's giving us, the whole news of the Benue crisis and everything. My heart bleeds, my heart bled, my heart is still bleeding seeing the incident happening in Benue State. We really hope that all of this comes to an end in no time. I wonder how human beings will feel, why they feel, how a human being feels taking the life of another. How does it even feel? I can't just imagine it. We pray and hope that this comes to an end soon. And the president, visiting Benue State, what do you have to say about that, Godwin?
Well, the president is visiting Benue State today. I understand that Dr. Paul Eneche was in Benue State yesterday.
Yes, I saw that
to visit the sites of some of this incident in Benue State, and also Akume is has also visited Yewata. Today has been declared as public holiday even in Benue State in order for the president to able to assess the situation on ground in Benue State. A lot of things are happening in Benue State, but like you've rightly said, our heart goes out to Yewata community in Benue State. Our heart goes out to every family that have lost their loved ones in all of these attacks, reckless attacks in Benue State. And we are calling for peace even in Benue State. Let's return back to the round table. Whatever this is, banditry, attack, faceless militants, whatever name we want to call this is, and most international community have come out to say that this is not just an attack, this looks like a genocide. We're talking about more than 100 people that were killed in Benue State. It looks like a genocide, and it's almost becoming a recurring thing.
Well, then I have a problem with the late response of the presidency to issues like this. I mean, this is like this incident happened which day precisely? It was today's. So
it's Tuesday, Wednesday. Yeah.
So it happened 2 days ago, right? Sunday.
Yeah.
Sunday night or so. But and then we have a president, going to visit on a Wednesday. And then before we even saw him respond, people had tried to call him out. We had the likes of Very, Very Dark Man going to the States to do a protest. We have, citizens coming out to respond faster than the president. I mean, that is heartbreaking. That is heartbreaking. We're not talking about 1, 2, 3 people that died. Over 200 people lost their lives. To a tragic incident as this, it was people burnt down, losing lives and properties, and then our president reacts days after. People have to call him out, and then we're seeing him going to visit on the 3rd day, or this is the 2nd day. I mean, it doesn't really sit well.
President, I'm not a spokesperson for the president, but I think I can hold brief for the president even in this regard, because we've seen President Bola Tinubu to cancel his appointment today in Kaduna. He has a commissioning to do in Kaduna State, and he has to call it off in order to attend to the Benue incident. Now, as a president, you have a lot of things on your table. You have a lot of responsibilities.
How about speaking? We understand the fact that he has
prior to this time, seen President Bola Ahmed Tinubu swift into action by even calling Nuhu Ribadu, who is the National Security Advisor, to go and assess the situation in Benue State. President Bola Tinubu has also sent the CDS, the Chief of the Defense Staff, to go to Benue State also about 3 weeks ago to assess the situation in Benue State. It's just an unfortunate time where I'm not holding brief. I'm just trying to just put the record straight. I'm just to put the record straight. I'm not speaking for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, but I'm just saying that going by the records, when people say President has not done a lot, he has not been able to respond to all of these things.
We had the Mokwe flooding. I'm sure you're very much aware of that, and we didn't see a swift response as a president. These are part of
when you talk about all of these concerns, Mokwa flood happening in Mokwa, a boundary between Niger and Kwara State, all of this concern. For one, I should think at this point that we should take our democratical process serious, because a situation of this magnitude, we have a chief security officer of that state. We have a chief security officer of Benue State that at a point himself and Mofwang, the executive governor of Plateau State, were overwhelmed by the entire security architecture, entire insecurity in those states respectively. Now, when we look at all of this, one should think that in such a time as this, other than just compelling President, putting the blame literally on President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, like I said, I'm not holding brief for the president, but other than coming out to criticize or coming out to say that the president should have responded timely, well, I think that no time is late. President coming out to speak right now. Of course, the Pope spoke about this on Sunday, even during the Mass. He had to also pray for Benue State and the killings in Benue State. But then again, other than saying President Bola Tinubu has not been able to achieve, has not been able to go there to visit, travel down there, we saw what, as soon as that happened in Benue State, we saw the mandate and instruction that was given by the president. First, we saw the IGP, Inspector General of Police, the person of what was this? Egbetokun traveled straight to Benue State.
Did that happen on day one? Did that even happen on day two?
It happened almost at day two. He had sent Egbetokun to go to Benue State. Egbetokun went there himself with the CDS, Chief of Defense Staff, again to go and also look at he spoke to media and was talking about the fact that they need to re-strategize. But for me, the re-strategizing is fantastic, but then we must put our feet down to ensure that incident of this magnitude does not repeat itself again. For that's what I'm even calling for the president, because I understand that this is not the first time this is happening in Benue State.
I think you're trying to be calm because you don't have any relation affected in this whole thing. Because when it gets personal, you would understand the gravity of what is happening. It looks like our lives do not matter. Again, people wake up and they are dead. We had to, for me, my concern is the fact that they had to keep calling on the president to make a statement at least. The statement did not come immediately. The statement came after one group, two, three had come out to say what is happening. People started calling him out on social media, and that is when we saw a statement. And the statement didn't even sit well with a lot of Nigerians. You know, so I mean.
Now Priscilla is looking at me like I've spoken with President Bola Tinubu and I'm his mouthpiece. Of course, I've said that.
I understand.
I've said that I'm not the president's mouthpiece. I'm not on the president's payroll.
Well, the truth of the matter is Nigerians are not happy, and something just has to be done as soon as possible.
Let's even look at the end of today. What the president is visiting Benue State today. At the end of today, we'll be able to assess what is going on by the president, and of course our media crew on the ground to give us even a live feed of what's going on in Benue State at that time, so we can now judge the president after today's meeting, because 3 weeks after the CDS, the Chief of Defense Staff, went to Benue, we have this whole incident. The CP of Benue State, Ifeanyi, forgotten his other's name, was saying that this whole issue was the fact that they were chasing them out of a particular local government, and in order for the criminals to escape, they had to create some form of scene and some havoc in Yawata. How correct is this? Well, the people from Yawata have come out to say that, hey, these people attacked us from different quarters, about 4 quarters. That's where they came out from, different paths. This was a strategic and planned attack, not just people that were fleeing. But whichever side of this divide, when you say I've not lost somebody, of course, I have family and friends from Benue State. I have family and friends from Yewata. That's why I always say that my heart goes out to them. I have a family that lost 2 persons in that state, and these 2 persons are close to me. So I have people that were affected. But like I said, I'm not the spokesperson for the president. But then again, we hope we'll be able to assess the president after today's visit. And 1 week after, 2 weeks after, we hope that the military presence in Benue State will not disappear. Just like what we've seen so far, you see police coming out, army coming out, they do a parade around the entire community, and after 3 days, they will return back to status quo. There are some communities in Benue State that are not even, you don't find police presence, you don't find military presence in all of this. We should begin to take, for me, why I'm even speaking out is the idea. For one, I won't want to even talk about all of this, but then I believe that the president took an oath to protect the lives and properties of Nigerians, yes. Not to protect the dead of Nigerians. If Nigerians are not living, we can talk about protection of life and properties. And we hope that after today's visit, we'll see some of the strategies that will be also communicated to the security agencies in order to bring about balance and some form of succor.
To bring an end, a total end to this.
Okay, Priscilla said you want the total end.
Yeah, I want an end to
all of this. Well, at this point in time, we'll be delving into the conversations that are lined up for us even this morning. We have a guest that is standing by to talk to us about a pressing national issue. We'll go for the short break, and when we come back, we'll be delving into our conversations for today. Please stay with us as the show continues after this break.
Is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
All right, welcome back to Global Morning. Right about now, it's time for the discussion segment. And at this point, we're shifting gear to a vibrant and rapidly expanding
expanding sector that is not just entertainment, but a powerful engine for economic growth. And what am I talking about? I am talking about content creation. Now, in today's digital space, creativity knows no bound. From a catchy beat composed in the home studio to a stunning short film, shot on the smartphone. People are using their phones to do a lot. There are a lot of opportunities for creators to showcase their talent and earn a living, and it is more diverse in today's world than ever. So we're talking about content creation, how savvy individuals are navigating to build successful careers with their smartphones, with their laptops. It just goes on and on like that. And to help us understand this exciting world, we've got an absolute expert in the studio today. He's a true creative force with a multifaceted background. He's a seasoned media consultant and a talented music producer who understands the magics of melodies. He's also a videographer, of course, and he is, I feel, the right person to help us navigate this topic, content creation. We will join him shortly after this break. Please stay with us. All right, thank you for staying with us. So right about now we have Mr. Rocks King, Kingsley Obasi Okwakaji, joining us in the studio this morning to talk about content creation. Welcome, Rocks King.
Thank you very much, Priska. It's my pleasure being here. How are you this morning?
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much for joining us. So we're talking about, content creation this morning. It's a real pleasure to have you here. The topic is incredibly relevant to so many, especially with the explosion of digital platforms, Spotify, Boomplay, and all of that. People are eager to understand how they can turn their creative passion into a viable income stream. Today, we want to explore that vast opportunity available in content creation. We want to delve into the specifics of earning, including royalties and navigating streaming platforms, especially with aspiring creators. What aspiring creators need to know that will help them truly thrive. Now, let's begin with setting the stage with your diverse background. How would you define content creation in today's media industry, particularly within the context of Nigerian, the Nigerian space?
Okay, thank you for that question. Talking about content creation, you know that phrase has become very popular in recent times. I mean, you just walk into the streets and any young person you see, 1 out of, let's say, 10 or even more, when you ask them what do you do, they'll say I'm a content creator. Scroll through social media profiles among young people and even middle-aged people, persons, you'll see that they've included content creator as one of the things they do, on their profiles online. So it's really a worthy, discourse. Talking about content creation today, it is, would I say, much broader than just posting videos or posting music online. In Nigeria, it's about using your creative skill to communicate, to entertain, to educate, to solve a problem through any medium you choose, be it audio, video, text, visuals, etc. As a music consultant, a media consultant, as a producer, as a videographer, I could define it as, how would I say now, a purposeful storytelling. Yes, it's storytelling, and it has to be purposeful. When people are consuming your content, your purpose should be very clear. Don't leave anybody confused. It doesn't have to be something you do randomly, trying to see if you're going to go viral. It's not about going viral. There has to be a purpose, and it has to be storytelling. Excuse me. So whether you're making a beat, whether you're recording a podcast, whether you're filming a skit, whether you're teaching a skill, you are a content creator. And in Nigeria, it has become a self of economic empowerment. It has also become a self of self-expression. So that's how I define it.
With your diverse background as a media consultant, music producer, and videographer, how you have a unique perspective, of course, of Nigerian creative space. How would you? I would say there are people that now abuse content creation. Yes, a lot of people want to do a lot of stuff. They don't know the basics of content creation. I want to I know you have done a brief, talk about it, but I just want you to focus on those that are not getting it right. What is it that, why are they not getting it right? What can they do to, get it right?
Okay, first off, like I said, purpose has to be there first. It's not about earning money first. It has to, emanate from a place of true purpose. If there was no camera in front of you, if there was no earning from social media, what would you do? If there was no earning from the content you're creating, what would you be doing with your time? Once you answer that first, then you can go on to start making content around that answer. So purpose first, and second, again, apart from it being a form of economic empowerment, let it be first a form of self-expression. So once you're able to express yourself, that's the second question answered, and then you are set up for success. Right now, content creation has been democratized. All the professional jargons, we used to know, many people, many persons who create successful content today don't know them. So it's not about rules and all of that. It's about something genuine taking on your inside. After you answer that, then I'll talk about quality, we talk about quantity and all of that. Yeah.
Shifts or trends you've observed in content consumption and production in Nigeria over the past years, and how has this impacted the demand of skills like music production, video production, and the likes of the media production?
Thanks again. This is a very, very good question. Talking about trends, talking about shifts in trends, yes, I've observed quite a few. One very big shift in trend is the demand for short form and high quality content. If you walk into my studio today and you want to make, let's say, a song, and I see your song running into 5 minutes plus, one of the best things I can do for you, if I really connect, of course I always do, is to find a way to shorten it. And many artists are usually perplexed by this. They are not happy because they are emotionally attached to the lyrics they have written, to the script they have written, and so shortening stuff doesn't quite come off very good to them. But now it is what it is. Even you that are listening to us right now, you know that when you scroll through social media, you don't sit down listening to long content like that. If it's not a movie or something like that, or something you're really benefiting, is a tutorial. Even for a tutorial, you want to keep it short. So the demand for short form content, high quality content, is a change that I have seen, especially with platforms like TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts. Then another, like I said earlier, is the democratization of tools. All right, then we used to know Adobe Premiere Pro, Final Cut Pro. How many persons can afford a MacBook right now? Not to talk of having Final Cut Pro. But now we have CapCut and so many. In fact, CapCut now is becoming a little bit inaccessible rather, and we have many tools that can do what it does, though you may not get them in one place, but it's been democratized. People can get up and with little or no skill and produce content now. So that's a very big shift. So content creation is no longer for the pros, but everybody can be a content creator. Another thing again I've noticed is an increased appetite for authentic content. when I say authentic, I mean you don't have to go all perfect in making your content. All right, people don't want to see you perfect. They want you to be vulnerable. Okay, you don't have to paint the background and make it perfect. Just be vulnerable, be real. They want real stuff. All right, so the more you spend your money trying to do, especially as a beginner, be real. Let people know your estate, where you are at the moment. Let them connect to you deeply. Yeah, when you have the money and all of that, then show off the money you have. That's now your reality. All right, so showing forth your actual background is not a bad thing. So you have to be real. So people want authentic, organic stuff. Be vulnerable. And then finally, I see also a craving for locally flavored content. You know, back in the day, we used to listen to R&B. We used to sing a lot of R&B, you know, blues and all of that. And all these are Western sounds. As a producer, I started producing all of that. I had good strengths. You know, I think it's still an advantage for me now. A lot of producers are not able to do that. I can do opera, I can do orchestral music, you know. Then later I discovered there's a big market in Afrobeat, even before Afrobeat blew up, and then I started trying my hands. And of course, as simple as Afrobeat was, I struggled a little bit, you know, getting into the groove. You know, we have a lot of groovy beats down here in Nigeria. It was really a challenge, but right now I think I've gotten in the groove, and I could say I can make Afrobeat for Africa, if you get what I mean. So locally flavored content has taken over the stage right now, especially in Nigeria. And any content creator should know how to make locally flavored stuff. Those are some of the shifts in trends I've seen. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So for aspiring content creators in Nigeria now, what are some of the most promising niches or areas you see emerging, especially considering the rise of social media platforms, short form video?
Okay, talking about niche, I see a lot of potential in edutainment. You educate people want to learn, all right? But at the same time, they want to be entertained as they learn. You're making a cooking video, a food video. You don't just bring out your recipe and present to us in a boring way. No, you got to make it entertaining. Put your character into it and all of that. Use catchy music. Make it entertaining. So there is huge potential in that. And then faith-based content in Nigeria, in Africa, in fact worldwide, it has a loyal audience and it is not saturated yet. So faith-based content. We have lifestyle vlogging, comedy, of course, it's not going anywhere. Skits, tutorial-based content, of course, and BTS, you know, production content. They are all growing. I mean, it's part of being organic. So behind the scenes, not just the final polished stuff. Behind the scenes videos, you know, they will sell very well. African history, digital skill training. All right, all those skills we have, we put them out. People are willing to learn. Parenting. Parenting is a very big art. You know, nobody who is a parent has ever done it before. So as we pick up valuable lessons, we transfer to people below, people trailing behind us, and they'll be very happy to learn. And then, of course, if we have opportunity to travel, let's not waste it. Let's capture moments of the travel and then share travel content. There's a very, very big prospect in that, and there's a lot of, you know, other rooms for growth.
Let's focus on music production, which is your number one specialty. So beyond working with established artists, what new avenues are opening up for music producers to create and monetize their work in Nigeria's current content ecosystem?
Okay, well, there are a lot of avenues right now for music producers, music creatives generally. Beyond working with artists, you know, that's the traditional stuff. Somebody walks into my studio, I want to record a song, and then I charge you for recording, and that's a very good source of income. But then there are other opportunities. We have jingles for businesses, audio jingles. So I mean, I think that's very, very clear. Podcast theme music. You have a TV program and you want a theme sound for it, we can write the score for you, professional score, put it out there. So a producer who knows how to do this has an opportunity. Sound design for YouTube content, very, very important. You know, YouTube contents are growing, new ones are emerging, and all of them need sound, original sound. So they are not, you know, struck with license issues by using, you know, copyrighted music. So the more we put out music there for people to buy and use and license, I mean, the more we can make money as producers. And then scoring short films and documentaries. Producers can reach out to, you know, film directors and sell their skills. When they have good movies coming up, I mean, they could make film scores for these people. We have stock music licensing. Stock music license, that's just what I spoke about earlier. Do short form music, put it out there. Those who want to make skits can use your, you know, music. They can use your music, you know, in their content. So these are quite some opportunities that we have for music producers and videographers today.
Opportunities beyond traditional music and videos, film production, Nollywood, all of that. What are other opportunities they can get access in this time and age?
Well, talking about videographers, right? Now, social media promo videos are growing. Yeah, people sell on social media today. We have marketplaces, Facebook Marketplace, and all. And, you know, for people to be able to sell effectively, they need some kind of content, audio, video, and all of that. So videographers can make videos for social media, you know, platforms to advertise whatever it is they're doing. Then we also have corporate explainer videos. We have educational content, testimonials for businesses, event highlights reels, even podcast video production. All right. So with mobile studios, with compact setups, videographers can offer on-the-go, you know, visual documentation, and so many things. Videographers can sell their workflows. Like if you have a template you've created to make your video editing streamlined and easy, you have transitions you have created, you have lots, you can sell them, and you make money beyond just your normal work. Yeah.
Monetization. Now, it's often the million-dollar question. This is the million-dollar question for a lot of creators. How can one truly earn a sustainable income from content creation in Nigeria? Can you break down the various monetization models available beyond direct client payment?
Okay. Yeah. So direct client payment, of course, is great, but the key to diversifying your income streams, you know, besides direct client payments, includes monetizing through streaming platforms. As a producer, as a creator, you make your footage or your audio and upload for people to use. You want to make your beats, you put it on BeatStars, for example. BeatStars is a beat licensing platform where you can put your beat. Somebody comes to buy your beat, you don't just transfer the file to them directly. No, you send them to your storefront, and then they purchase that beat from there. What it does is it's going to what it does is that it's going to license your music for you, even as you get paid upfront for your beat. The more that beat is getting streams on the song in which it was used, royalty still continues to come to you for life from the same beat. So in this industry, in the creative industry, everyone should strive to earn their content. You don't sell things out, you license out as much as you can. So you use, you know, content licensing platforms to put out your stuff. All right. Then you can also have brand partnerships. You can do affiliate marketing. All right. So merchandise sales, digital product sales, like I said earlier, presets, templates. You can also do online classes and all of that. So these are ways to diversify your income. Yeah.
Let me delve a bit to a controversial question that is usually talked about on social media. People get to say, if you make sense on the media space, nobody will view your videos, or you wouldn't get, the engagement you should. But sometimes when you do stuff that doesn't make sense, that's what people like. What do you have to say about this very topic?
Okay, well, I think what you're hitting on is, would I say, controversy? Controversy is one of the ways of selling. It's not the only way, right? So if you know controversy is something you can sustain as a person, then you go for it. There are people who proudly call themselves controversial figures. Yes, everything they post, everything they put out is controversy, and they can sustain it, all right? They can defend it. Yeah. So others still make they build a following by making real good sense, actually. So if you're somebody who knows how to dissect things and present information in a very structured way with facts, figures, in a way that, serious-minded people can watch, you can still earn you something. So I don't really think that controversy is the only way somebody can sell. You can definitely sell by giving balanced views professionally.
To sell, because some people get discouraged when they're not controversial, or they don't have the controversial personality. They kind of feel like social media is not for them.
No, absolutely not. The key is to be yourself any day, anytime. Yeah, know where your strength is and then push that forward.
Just being yourself, it's possible to put yourself out there and make good money from social media. Is that what you're saying?
Of course. Like I said in the beginning, being authentic is the thing, and then your quality, don't waste people's time. If you make a video that can fit into 1 minute, then let it be 1 minute. Don't make it 5 minutes. So be intentional, rehearse very well, and then at the end of the day, allow yourself to make mistakes online. It's okay. So that's it, basically.
Looking to build a career in content creation, what are the non-technical skills that are just as crucial as creative talent?
Okay. Yeah, so your core talents is definitely just one of the things you need to have. But in order to make success out of whatever it is you're doing, you need to have some additional skills. One would be marketing. Of course, marketing is going nowhere. Marketing is how to position and sell your content. All right, so marketing, digital marketing, offline marketing, just be ready. If you're not the type that likes to market, just know that you have to push yourself and get out of your comfort zone. If you do a marketing activity every day, you are set up for success, compared to if you just keep creating content. So give me two persons. One is focused on making content and the other one is focused on marketing. The one who does more of marketing will come out more successful. Networking, building the right relationships. This opens doors. So it all speaks for itself. All right. So networking is very important. Having a business acumen, knowing how to price. You can't just go out with passion, but you don't have a business model. Let's say you're a public speaker and then somebody calls you and then they want to know how to work with you. Do you have a package on how to price your voice services, for example? So you need to be thinking ahead. How do I sell my product? How do I break my services down into macros? All right. How do I make my pricing flexible so that when somebody comes, they know how to be able to, work within their budgets to get the best from me. All right. So that's it. Setting, getting a business model for whatever you're doing is very important. Legal literacy is very, very important. All right, especially in the music industry, you can get into real trouble if you don't know legal things. All right, so you make music for somebody, and then tomorrow the person goes viral, and then you start pursuing the person. Give me what's due me, but you didn't sign any document, you didn't have any agreement, you don't have any split sheet signed. That is legal illiteracy, and it's going to cost you in the future. It's going to cost you pain. So let's read up the legal side of everything that we choose to do, know our rights, and know what our clients' rights. All right, so I had to grow in all these areas to thrive as a producer and as an entrepreneur. So these are the skills to have in addition to your core creative skills.
This will be the last question. All right. So the digital space is constantly evolving. What are your thoughts on emerging technologies like AI and their potential impact on content creation, intellectual property, and monetization for Nigerian content creators?
Okay. Well, we've hit on a very, very important stuff. My thoughts on emerging technologies like AI, NFTs, and all of that. See, AI is both a tool and a threat. If anybody tells you it's not a threat, that person is joking. It is a threat. At the same time, it is a tool, but you decide what it is going to be for you. It can speed up editing, it can enhance sound, it can generate ideas. We all know that. But creators must adapt or risk being replaced. Okay? So that's just my thoughts on it. Everybody should get up and start learning AI tools. Yes, so because that's the future. The more you know, the faster you'll be able to work. So I mean, the day we live in, it has come to stay. So let's jump in.
You gotta listen to that advice. Jump in, get yourself equipped, get yourself informed on the AI technologies available to you. I think this is a point of draw the curtains. But before we go, do you have any last words for Nigerian content creators?
Okay, content creators should just be true and be purposeful in everything they do. Avoid some pitfalls. If you're going to be doing collaborations with people, be respectful to people. Don't take people's content and just use irresponsibly. All right, acknowledge people. Always give credits. If you use a photo, give credits. If you use audio, give credits. And all. Let's maintain copyright, especially in this part of the world. Let's read contracts carefully. Let's not be desperate. If we have a deal, a recording deal, or whatever it is, let's read our contracts carefully to avoid all the fights we see online today. Okay, let's register our works. All right, so take the stress and the pain to register your work. As important as it is to create content, it's also very important to register them so that you can get the best. If you're a producer, register with MCSN, Music Copyright Society of Nigeria, COSON, and even the international ones, ASCAP, BMI. That's on the music side. And then whatever field you are, if you're a writer, register yourself. And again, don't undervalue your skill. Know that your skill is gold, and then treat it as such. Okay? Yeah. Then also, my advice again to every Nigerian looking to make a mark in the content creation space is to start again. I can't stop saying it, with clarity of purpose. Know why you are creating what you are creating. Stay consistent. All right, when you start out, it may not yield something, but if you're very sure of where you're going, stay consistent, keep improving your craft, never stop learning also. All right, because things are phasing out very quickly, so just make a resolve to keep learning. That learning skill is one thing you must sharpen, and then use what you have. Use where you are. You don't have to be in California, in LA, or wherever. In that place you are, use it positively and grow a community. I know it's easier said than done, but it is what it is. Okay, so the creator economy is real. You just have to treat it like both an art and a business, and that's my advice.
Rox King, for being with us today. It has been an informative discussion on this segment of Global Morning. We want to say thank you and thank you once again. So at this juncture, if you are still watching, this is Global Morning, of course, and we will end the segment of this first discussion. Godwin will join us with the second segment of the discussion. But before Godwin comes in, join us for the international news on Global Morning. See you.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Welcome back to Global Morning. Well, it has been an interesting week so far. Sad as it is, but then we understand that the issues in Benue State, even this morning, President Bola Tinubu will be visiting, taking a tour around Benue State to understand what's the state of the insecurity in the state. Of course, this will provide some form of succor, it is believed, to people, the aggrieved communities, especially in Benue State. But let's even talk in terms of begin the conversation from the Benue angle and talk about the general insecurity across the country. Well, joining me this morning is Professor Ibrahim Abubakar. We'll be talking about insecurity across Nigeria. But first, you're welcome to the Good Morning, Prof.
Good morning, everybody.
Alright, so Prof, let's even talk about this whole insecurity saga in Benue State. A lot of people say that this is born out of ethnic rivalry. This is born out of some form of migration issues. When you look at it as it stands right now from a security angle, what do you make of the happenings in Benue State?
I don't think it has anything to do with migration, and also I don't think it has anything to do with the communities. It is something to do with some certain class of people who wants to drill fear into the minds of people to achieve what they want to achieve. It has nothing to do with ethnic crisis, it has nothing to do with tribal, it has nothing to do with religion at all.
Interesting so far, but Prof, there again, we have a situation in Benue State where we've lost about 156 lives have been lost so far. This is not the first time this is happening in Benue State. When we look at all of this development, can we say that again, this is just a frivolous attack coming from individuals that feel displaced, or when you try to even look at this whole conversation, is it politically oriented from your own take?
Let us not start with the issue of Yelewata, which just took place some few days ago. Let's look at the level of insecurity in Benue from the attack in the early 2000s from Oweto, Ogule down to the Otukpo areas, that is the Idoma land. Then somebody like David Mark was the senator in the Senate. Well, then you come back again to what happened between around Zakibia going towards Tarawa, when somebody like Soswan and Akume were the governors of Benue State. Then you also come to all these attacks now mostly centered in the TV land. Then you asked a question, why are these attacks is not happening in people, for people who don't know, the Etulo people and the Igede people. These are also tribes in Benue. So why is it not so rapid in these areas? Why is it the Tiv and the Idoma land most especially? So you go down, look at the history of where these things started from and get it down. Most of the things we do here is we do mistakes, and we do mistakes because we don't read through the lines and where is the dark end and where is the red flags. We take people, a lot of people ask me, like maybe after this interview now, a lot of people will ask me, where did you know, how did you know much about Benue? How did you know the Otulos? How did you know the Gedes? How did you know Benue so much? As a security professional, you must know your society very well. So when you can't just talk about your society without knowing your society. So if a lot of people comes here now, they will just be discussing about the update of just 1 week or so. What is the background issue? And why is the issue like this? So just as I asked, why is it not affecting the Igedes? Why is it not affecting the Otulos? Why is it that it is the Idomas? And why is it shifting from why did it shift from the Idomas to the Tiv's land? So we should know where we are coming from and know where we are going to. You cannot say you nip a situation to the mud when you don't even know what is the problem.
All right, Prof. Let's look at this conversation from the light of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu traveling to Benue State right now. Are there guarantees that his visits to the state will bring a lasting solution to the various insecurity experience even in Benue State?
No, there is no guarantee to it, because one, as a leader, I know the impulse he acted on is okay, because leadership entails 3 qualities and standards, which is the emotional embodiment, the physical embodiment, and the spiritual embodiment. Physical embodiment, that is what he has been able to do. But did he really know the problem in Benue and how to tackle the issue? Is the security platform, does it really accommodate the Benue State, and how to make sure they streamline these issues that is affecting Benue today, and also make sure there is cause for peace? Because security is not just carrying arms. You don't even need arms when you really have good security platform. So when you have the platform, you don't need arms. It's only when the platform is not there that you deploy arms and the rest. Who are you using the arms against? The citizens? Did you know how many people who are acting in ignorance? Have you been able to discuss with these people? Have you been able to enlighten them? Have you been able to educate them to know that what they are doing is wrong? Have you been able to identify these people? So we have not even identified these people. We have no knowledge of them, even as they are not spirits. So of what important is going to be if you have to broker peace? The important first is to make sure people, life and properties are in good, safe end. But who are these people? What is their identity? What is behind them? Who is funding them? How are they being indoctrinated? These are fundamental issues we are supposed to look at. We don't need to jump into conclusions. But if anybody tells me here that it is just farmers' herders issue, I will beg to disagree.
Well, Prof, I understand that as at this morning, a lot of Tiv indigents started moving to places like Kiana and Doma local government areas of Nasarawa State in order to find succor, form of succor and security for their lives. When we look at the scores that have been killed in Benue State so far, as of this morning we are counting around 544 people that have been killed just in year 2025. All of these fleeing and this all moving right now from Benue to Nasarawa State. Don't this further accelerate the issues around border conflict in Nigeria? Won't this accelerate the conversation around border lines and talking about migration that is not properly arranged? Won't this lead to some more tension even in Nasarawa State at the moment?
Yeah, there is a need for tension because they were not expecting the inflow of people into the state, and they really don't understand their mission. So when missions are not known and they are not understood, then there is a need for tension. And how did you dice this tension? Because you have to orient your people to say, no, there is no cause for alarm. And if you know what has happened before now in areas in Nasarawa State like Loko, coming to Toto, coming to Umuasha, and those environments, then you should know that them too has faced some kind of intrusion in the past. So if those intrusions in the past has been experienced, like the crisis between the Egbiras and the Basas and the rest, you find that a lot of people has actually not really understand what it means when crisis like this arises. If you ask most of the people who are the managers and administrators of security, they don't even know that there were crises around those lines from Umuasha to Tutu down to Loko and its environment in the past, and how to mitigate against it. Now that there is inflow of people from Benue into Nasarawa State, what has the security administrators and managers done to ease the tension of the people in Nasarawa? What has the National Orientation Agency, for example, done to make sure that they enlighten the people, to educate them that it is not, the inflow is not because they are coming to take over their land or coming to also cause mayhem to them. These are the things that I expect that they are supposed to do to dice the tension. You will even be in panic when people just rush into, you are sleeping and you just see people knock at your door. As you open and you see just 10 people entered into your house. You will be in panic because you were not expecting them, you don't know their faces and the rest. So everybody should be in that kind. You know the kind of information that trick in from the society, from communities of insecurities around Nigeria. So when you are seeing strange faces coming into your community, there is that need for panic.
Well, Prof, there is this issue around the fact that the CP of Benue State has come out to say that this is a whole attack on them. Yawata, and some of this was fleeing bandits or attackers that were fleeing, and they were being chased by Nigerian police. And when they got to Yawata, they decided to cause havoc in that community. That, of course, security agency are on top of their game, even in addressing insecurity issues in Benue State. But for the last couple of weeks, we've seen the number of death toll rise by the day. We've seen people displaced in other parts of Benue State, speaking about taking it from Otukpo down to even Guma and Agatu, other paths, Ado, Vandekia, and the rest of them. When we look at this, does it, from your own analysis, does it seem as though the security agency in Benue State are on top of their game, even as it stands right now?
There is what we call security and the press. If a commissioner of police who is the head of security in a state, and the police chief comes out and said they were chasing out some criminals, and they decided to cause some havoc in a place, and it's leading to, then he must have gotten proper informations. So information dissemination has to come in. If you have such information, what did you do with the information? How did you work on the information? So if that is not true to facts, he has to account for all the people that were killed in that environment. Sometimes I get pissed off when people say, security, we have a security report that this will happen, and that incident happened. How will you have a security report that this will happen and that happened? Meaning that you are not up to your game. You really don't know what you are doing. If you know what you are doing, you already have information that they are coming to kill you, and you allow the killing to take place, and then it is wonderful.
Interesting. Prof, we had a guest yesterday on our show that spoke about the fact that these people from Benue State, most of them are not even trained in order to carry arms, and in all these attacks most of the time they are being confronted with a situation where it's only the attackers, the bandits or the headsmen, as it were, that have all the weapons with them, because for them these things, instruments are not legalized, and as such they cannot even use them, as it were. But when you look at this whole situation and try to analyze it, let's explain the conversation on the legalization of arm even within Benue State as it stands right now. Should we be talking about how to even train security threatening zones as Benue State in order to carry firearms, to prepare for attack of this magnitude, or even train the locals from these communities on how to carry firearms in order to protect themselves, because self-defense, of course, is enshrined in the criminal code of the southern part of Nigeria.
To me, I don't think the henchmen are trained on how to carry arms. To me too, nobody is trained to carry firearms. We are only using henchmen as a shade to constitute nuisance, to commit offenses. So the henchmen are just being used as a shade. They are not actually, I don't believe the henchmen are the participants. The main participants are not the henchmen. How many of these henchmen are literate enough to know how to handle arms and ammunition? You understand me? So if they are not literate enough and they don't know what, we have never heard of them misfiring. We have never heard of the same people they are accusing to say they have hit on themselves mistakenly. So these are, to me, professionals who are misguided elements being used by some certain class of people, using the headsmen as shades. You understand me? So using the headsmen as shades. So we shouldn't be calling it headsmen farmers crisis. We should be calling it as farmer headsmen shaded crisis. So you can use anybody as a shade to constitute your mayhem. Just like everywhere you go to, you just hear Fulani herdsmen, Fulani yes, Fulani there. Then you asked how many of these Fulanis are actually these troublemakers. And by the time you interact with the same Fulanis, in their own personal understanding, you find out that they are as innocent as.
Well, Prof, of course you know that conversation has been very stale, where it has been long coming. People say that most of these troubles have been fermented by members of the Fulani sect, and
I am coming. If you are fermenting trouble, you are fermenting trouble to benefit or to have a gain. So what do you think the Fulani herdsman is going to gain for killing people or fermenting troubles where they still know that their means of livelihood lies? That is the question. The question is that I want to foment trouble because I want to make sure I benefit or gain. So what is my gain fomenting trouble where my means of livelihood stays or when it is at stake? You understand me?
Yes.
And how many people are going to remain those here looking at me when I constitute these troubles? So we know that these people are bloody illiterate. Well, let me not call them bloody illiterate because to take care of cows alone means that you have some
education.
But then let's actually look at them that these people are not well enlightened. They don't know the rules, they don't know the laws, and again they are being taken advantage on because they are henchmen. They are always in the forest and in the games, so they take due advantage of them. So you call them whatever names you want to call them, use them as a shade to constitute your nuisance or act of criminality and stretch away. So at the end of the day, it is the herdsman, it is not you.
Well, Prof, let's come back to the issues of security even in Benue State and by extension other parts of the country. There is a video making around that we see security men escorting herders in the country, and people say that right now the cows are more important than human beings across Nigeria. How correct is this narrative, even trying to assess the various insecurity across the country?
Well, if you say that, I will not want to disagree with you, and also I'm not going to dispute some of those accusations, but I will tell you something. Most of the cows you see carried by the Fulani people don't belong to them. I don't want to mention names today, and I don't want to, but I've seen even in Abuja here where cows roaming around the cities were arrested by Abuja Environmental Protection Agency, and for somebody who is a senator, somebody who is a member of House of Rep, coming to say those cows belongs to them, not the Fulanis. And I know in Benue clearly, sometime in 2009 or so, when some Fulani herdsmen were arrested and somebody came and said the cows belongs to him. So I also know in some other part of the country where Fulani's herdsmen has been arrested because they walk into somebody's farm in Enugu, and we know that somebody came and said he is the owners of the cows. So if you go into deep investigation, you find out that these cows really don't belong to the same Fulanis, but belongs to some prominent people in this country.
And as such, they need to go with security personnel to protect the...
So as such, the people are the ones providing the cover for them. And that is why they can be used as shades. So if you asked, where is this Fulanis being trained on how to the use of arms and ammunition, you cannot find it anywhere. And those who are even security men who join the security agencies, ask them how long does it take them to train on armed drilling, and let them tell you how armed drilling and tactical drilling on arms, how long it takes to get perfected. So for anybody to come here and start telling me Fulani has done this, where are they trained? They use them as shades. We should agree to that. We agree to that. Yes, you can use anybody as shade to justify your acts and walk away. We should agree to that. It's only people who don't understand what security is about that will just come and say it is just Fulani herdsmen and the farmer crisis. It's not so. Fulani herdsmen and farmer crisis is supposed to be somebody was injured with cutlass, somebody was injured with a knife and the rest, and we agree to that. But when it has come to carrying of arms, sophisticated weapons and the rest, is not.
Prof, there is this part of the conversation that says that of course we've listened to the Benue State governor and the spokesperson, the CSP, who have come out to accuse members of the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's cabinet by implication that there are people in Abuja are the ones sponsoring the insecurity across the country, by even specifically Benue State. When we look at this, how correct will it be to say that Abuja is responsible for some of the conversations that we have, some of the insecurity issues that we're having even in Benue State?
I won't want to join issues with people who are not looking at the laws and the logics that are involved. But let's look at it very well. Benue State still remain another APC state. So if Benue is an APC state, then the interest of Bola Ahmed Tinubu should be on the high, because he will not want to lose Benue, so he will want to encourage Benue. So causing a help in Benue will make people in Benue to say, we can't vote Bola Ahmed Tinubu again. If it is actually the presidency, then if it is the same Abuja people working with the presidency, will also not want anything to go wrong in Benue, because it is going to touch on their official office they are holding in anyhow in Benue, because informations will drift into Mr. President, and Mr. President will not want to take it lightly with them, because it's already their own state. So you protect your own. If this was happening in one other party state, we will say, okay, maybe Abuja has a hand in it because they want to take over that state. But in this case, it is already an APC state, and I think they will have worked harder to win over some of other senatorial districts or some other constituencies that are not under the umbrella of APC to become an APC head. So I will not dispute it, but I will not also want to say it is true that has actually taken place.
Prof, just before I let you go, about this morning, there have been this concern about Benue State public holiday that has been declared by the governor. People say that we thought that, for one, if the president is coming to Benue State, he should be able to feel the tension in the state and what the citizens and the indigenes of the state are also going through. But then today's been declared as a public holiday, a free road. Even the governor has called on indigenes of Benue State, the Benuites, to come out and show welcome Mr. President. 2 days to this time, 2 days ago, we saw the IGP move into Benue State. We've seen the CDS move to Benue State, and all the security agencies are already in Benue State waiting for the president to come. And of course, it will be a resounding welcome ceremony for the president. In this instance, where Benueans are mourning, is this the right step in the right direction for Benueans and Benuites to come out and welcome Mr. President, even at this point in time, and even asking them to even close down their shops and their businesses in order to welcome Mr. President and feel welcome? Is the timing for all of this, is it right?
Well, if you go to this series of what has happened over this period of time, somebody in the National Assembly has also asked for that if this did not happen in Rivers State and there is a state of emergency, why didn't they call for a state of emergency in Benue? So be as it may, it's not what happens to Mr. Paul that should happen to Mr. Peter. So when you start calling for a state of emergency, what is your interest when you start calling for a state of emergency in a democratic, we are saying in a democratic, because the incident that took place in River State that brought about was contended by a lot of people, saying that there is no need to call for a state of emergency, and even the president in calling for a state of emergency and also bringing in a sole administrator to take over the leadership in Rivers. So are we also going to call for another state of emergency in Benue? Well, the answer is we cannot continue that way, because it is people that elected these people. So you cannot tell them to go home while you are sitting in your office. You understand? So what we suppose, if the chief of defense staff is already there, the inspector general of police is already there, and the president is coming, what I really don't look at deeply, I am a little bit against is allowing the people to have a work-free day, to have a seat at home. The president is not coming to address Mr. Governor. He sees Governor every day. He's coming to see the people, to see what has happened, to see first-hand informations. And these people are supposed to respond to Mr. President. This is how it has been happening, and this is how we feel, and this is where we are. But it also comes to the error we have made on time when we brought about community policing. We really don't have to start with community policing, because community policing is a wider area. We are supposed to start from grassroots policing to neighborhood policing. That is what we are supposed to start from. But we jumped from grassroots policing, neighborhood policing, and we went into community policing, which is a wider area. And the effect is what the police has not been able to mend into. And some of the effect is what we are seeing in our policing network. So if Mr. President has projected over 4-point-something, almost 5 trillion naira for security, and we are still where we are as at June this year, then I think we are heading to no point. We are heading back to 0 point.
All right. At this point, I want to say thank you so much, Professor Ibrahim, for finding out time to be with us here on Global Morning.
Thank you very much and welcome.
Well, we'll go for this short break, and when we come back, we will still cross the T's and dot the I's and try to even look at other pressing issues if time will permit us. We'll go for this break, and when we come back, the show continues in a minute. Please stay with us.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and international.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
The president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates.
Welcome back to Global Morning. I am sure you've been following through the conversations. It has been a pack full of, interesting conversations this morning. And Godwin, thank you very much for that last segment. At this juncture, I think we should be wrapping up, right? But do you have any last words before we end the show this morning?
Last words are always my thing, but then let's even leave the conversation at that point and allow our viewers to be able to take the decisions, and from there because it has been a very fulfilling morning even here on this the studio this morning. That's my last word. My name is Godwin Sunday.
Okay, thank you so much, Godwin Sunday. And viewers, I hope you have been inspired, been educated, been informed on Global Morning this morning. Global Morning comes again tomorrow morning. Don't forget to tune in. And for the rest of the day, Global Television continues with lots of program lined up for you. Do have yourself an amazing, amazing, amazing day. All right, so from us in the studio on Global Morning, it is bye-bye.
Global Morning is your top morning show here on Global Television.
We bring you fresh news updates daily while delving into a variety of current affairs and topics.
And at the same time, keeping you well informed about important events, both national and internationals.
Global Morning serves as a valuable source of information, helping viewers like you start your day well informed.
Stay connected from Monday through Sunday to a wide range of latest news making rounds on Global Morning.
What is your problem? What's your problem? We're on the road to protest.
And the president meets all of our demands.
This is Global Morning.